What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Justin Ford podcast, where I'll be releasing life-changing principles and valuable information focused on all things faith, finance, family, fitness, real estate, and so much more. Let's go! What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Justin Ford Unleashed podcast. Super excited to be with you here again today. I hope you've been doing great since the last episode. If you're loving the show, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And if you're really loving the show, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. If you haven't followed me yet on social media, you can at the official Justin Ford. Again, at the official Justin Ford. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, and also here on YouTube. Before I get started today, guys, we have an incredible guest in the studio. As you know, we love bringing guests into the studio that have great stories to share, and we've got a great one for you today. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they live next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined loan experience, helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Next Door Lending is currently licensed in over 26 states and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. Whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call my friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Well, as I mentioned to you, we got a great episode in store for you. And so I don't have just one amazing person in the studio. We've got two. Welcome my lovely wife, Joy Ford.
Hi.
And real estate agent and friend, Ashley Trefney.
Hello.
Did I say that right?
You said it right.
All right.
Got it.
I wanted to make sure.
He's in the house.
It's weird kind of having you to the right.
I know.
Usually
I feel like my hair is all like...
Are you usually here?
Yeah.
I'm sitting?
So we sit and look, but it's okay. You can strain your
I can
neck
see you.
looking.
Yeah, I can see you out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, you know what's funny is I hear this all the time where, you know, when I take pictures with you know, people that are a female or, you know, have them in the studio, there's always like the side, right? Is this a true thing? Like every girl has like, oh, this is my better side. Or this is where my hair looks better. Or I've got
I don't care for like photos on as far as what sides are, but I can tell where like thicker parts of my hair are. I was just talking to Ashley about that. Like certain parts are thicker and it just, I don't know. Ashley is perfect, so she has.
Oh my God, that's so nice. Thank you.
That's so funny.
It's not true, but thank you.
Well, it's you know, Joy and I, Ashley, you know, because you've been listening to our show, which we appreciate. You know, we have guests on. And the reason why we have guests on is because we love to hear different stories. We like to, you know, display people's success and just really hear your journey. Because, you know, I'm not going to share your story because I want you to share it. But, you know, what I love is the people that listen to this show primarily are real estate agents. We have a lot of people that are not. And you've got an incredible story. And so when Joy and I, you know, we 3 weeks ago, you know, we always say, who should we have on the show?
Yeah, like we sit and plan and like, okay, who can we have? And
Joy was like, let's have Ashley on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
like,
nice.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And so I feel like I have to turn to look at you.
Listen, can you not?
All right, go ahead.
And Ashley is single.
Oh, is this the real reason you had me on? To broadcast to all your viewers.
Real raw uncut.
I am single. It's very
Feel free to come on the show and we will also matchmake you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that. 2 birds with 1 stone.
No, that's awesome.
Just kidding. Just joking.
So Ashley, you know, I had a chance to get to know you a little bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so how old are you?
I'm 35.
So for those that are listening and looking for no, just
I was going to say, why are you asking her age?
Yeah,
I like all ranges.
Well, here's what I was going to say. So you're 35. I'd love to hear what were you doing before real estate?
Sure.
Right? What got you into real estate and how long have you been in real estate?
Okay, so before my real estate career began, I was an instructional designer. So I created training programs for companies.
Nice.
Yeah. When I graduated college, I was a consultant for my sorority. So I traveled all across the country to different universities and colleges and helped them with, you know, goal setting and officer transition and recruitment. And I loved it. But
That's awesome.
It was really great, but it was hard. We got 2 days off a month. Like
2 days off a month?
Yeah, I was pretty sure that's illegal, but I was 21 and it was like the coolest thing ever.
Right.
So when I graduated, or when I was done with that, I was just a year contract. I thought, how can I do this forever?
Yeah.
So I got my master's in training and development, only to realize when you're a consultant in the real world and not sorority world, it's like healthcare, auto, just factory and stuff I wasn't interested in. So I went the route of creating training programs for companies because it was kind of like creating lesson plans because I wanted to be a teacher at one point, then realized I don't like kids that much. So I don't want to be around them all the time.
Real.
Yeah.
So for those that are listening and looking for a potential wife, hopefully you don't like kids either.
Maybe a pet.
I mean, dogs for sure. I do like kids, but not enough to teach them every single day.
Yeah.
Right.
So I started doing that, and I did that for like 7 years. And every job I had after like 4 months, just realized I don't like this.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'll go to a new company.
Yeah.
And then after like third company, I thought maybe it's just the career.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this. So my mom and stepdad years ago put in my mind how good I would be at real estate because they would go to open houses for fun. And they're like, if that person can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. But I didn't really give it a thought. And then I was driving down the road and I was upset with my last job before I left. And I'm like, what am I going to do? This is not what I want to do. I'm unhappy. I hate going to meetings that I have to go to. I hate that I have to save up my vacation days. I don't like having a boss. And I saw, as I was saying that, I drove by one of Jeff Glover's signs.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I will go into real estate. So I told my mom, my stepdad, and they were very supportive of that. So I took my class and took my test, I will say 5 times. I'm not ashamed to
I think
say
Joy
that.
took it, 5 or 7?
Probably 7.
It's so hard. It's a hard
very
test.
Hard. And you just talked about like your mom and stepdad. Like I feel like moms, like parents really know, like because your mom said it for a while too. Like you need to go get your license, and he did. So I feel like parents are really intuitive. Like
they know.
They do know.
They know what, because they can see what you're good at when you can't, and so they can see what what they think you'd be successful at, and most of the time they're right.
You know, my mom did the same thing, and I think that was always kind of planted in my head too, because I was always from 21, I was in business, and my mom, which is kind of funny, she used to work at this Caldwell Banker office, and she used to always say, man, Justin, there's this guy named Jeff Glover in the office, and you remind me so much of him, and he reminds me so much of you. You'd be great in real estate. So Jeff had worked at Caldwell Banker when he was really young, and my mom was an assistant there. She wasn't even an agent.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting how for years she would say this, and then I ended up going and working for Jeff.
Yeah, that's
when I first got started. But yeah, I think parents do know.
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah. You know how you can see the best in us. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took it 5 times. Not ashamed to say that, because to me, it didn't dictate my work ethic. It was just something I had to do to become a realtor. And how much do we actually use from the test?
Hardly nothing ever.
Yeah. So, I got my license in November 2020. So I've been doing less than 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right during COVID.
Yeah, and actually I took my test. My class ended February of 2020.
Wow.
Took my test once, didn't pass, and then all the testing shut down.
Yep.
For
that's
months.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. You're
so
backed up.
Everyone's like, you'll for sure pass. You're gonna study all the time, and I'm like, I'm not studying during lockdown. I'm so bored.
Right.
I'm gonna watch Tiger King instead.
Yeah. Tiger. I think
we watched it.
Everybody did.
I did not want to watch, and then we're like broke down on the dark.
Craziest show ever.
Yeah. So then I got, then everything opened again.
Yep.
And then I failed my test by like too many questions because I didn't study.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll just take it tomorrow or in a week. No, because everyone who needed a license in the whole state of Michigan and anything was also doing what I did.
Yeah, because there was such a backup.
Yeah, so it was like a month. So
oh wow.
Past my 5th time, I studied. I wrote so many note cards. Passed my 5th time, and then I joined Keller Williams and I joined a team, and then I went full time in March because I was getting my bonus in February, and I was like, I did not work this hard all year.
Right.
This job I didn't like to not get a bonus.
Right.
So got my bonus on a Friday, and then I put my notice in on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I literally went to the office every day and just worked, put my head down and worked very, very hard.
So it's interesting because, going to, back to you failing, I tell people, most people fail. And I remember Joy, because she took the test several years back,
right,
when we had our own brokerage.
2019, I think.
Yep. And she failed it, I think, 2 or 3 times. And, her mindset was, maybe I'm just not meant to be a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And what I told her was, I said, no, that has nothing to do whether you're supposed to be a real estate agent or not. Keep taking the test until you pass it. And so a handful of years went by, and she's like, all right, I'm going to, then did you have to retake the class again?
I think you have like a year.
Yeah, I waited
to redo it.
I waited too long.
She had to retake the class,
which was good because then it refreshed me, right? And then.
So she had to retake the class. And then she failed a few more times, and then she's like, "Oh, this is not for me. I give up." And I'm like,
"Just be a transaction coordinator."
Go,
then.
Joy, go.
I know.
And even for you too, hats off to you. It's like, keep going, and I don't care if it took 10 times.
Right.
If you know you want to be a real estate agent, take the test.
Yeah, I just
pass it.
I had a really bad experience in the summer with my job where I was on put on a probation because I didn't do something my team leader liked with a project, and then I didn't get any redemption time. A week later, they're like, "Oh, we talked about that thing with you. Well, now you're on a 90-day probation." And I was like, "This is not how I want to be living my life."
Right.
But I was by the 3rd time I didn't pass, I was dating somebody, and he's like, "Are you sure you're cut out for this?" And I'm like, "This does not dictate my work ethic. This is just something that's in my way. Got to get through."
Right. Yeah.
And then I kind of gave me a little chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like, "You guys don't think I can do this? Watch me."
Yeah.
So
and then you're like, "Bye."
Yeah. Then I did.
Yeah. So were you?
I'm gonna get it now.
Right.
I love it. So when you got your license, it was when you passed your test. What month was it?
November.
So November of 2020. And then were you part-time until February?
Yeah. Okay. So I was working from home because like everybody else was. Yep. So I would log off for my lunch, and I didn't tell anybody that I got my license because I didn't want them to be like, "Oh, you're leaving," and then let me go before my bonus.
You wanted that bonus.
Yeah, and I was like, when am I don't know when I'm going to get a paycheck with real estate. So I have, and it was like a $5,000 bonus.
There you go.
So I was like,
just enough to get you to start full-time real estate.
Yeah. Yes, I would log off for my lunch, and I would make my calls for an hour, or I would go show a house for an hour, something where I did those things every day. And it was I don't know how people do it forever, because my mom, I remember in January, mom's like, "Just 2 more months." And I was like, 2 more months of this? This is a lot.
Right.
And then it just flew by, and now it's 3 years later. I
love it, because I also tell people that are getting into real estate that there's a sacrifice. If you can't just jump full-time into real estate and you're working a job, there's a sacrifice that you have to make, and there's a price you have to pay if you're going to transition and be in it full time. And what I love is Ralph and Holly have been on the show before, and they have a previous episode. They're down in Tennessee, where Ralph was working for Coca-Cola, and he'd have to get up at 2 a.m. because he'd drive the truck and go drop off Coca-Cola bottles or whatever at gas stations and stuff. And he would say he would do that job, then do real estate, and only get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And now they'll make $1 million this year.
Now they're
crushing
in real estate. But it was that, and I think most people aren't willing to take the test 5 times. Most people aren't willing to pay the price. And that's why I wanted to, bring you on the show to share your journey and your success, because I believe that other people that are either in the business or looking to get into the business need to hear, I say, the real raw details of what it takes to be successful in real estate, but the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you go full time in February, right? Or March?
I certainly started March 5th.
You got your check in February, go full time in March. What did that look like? Because you joined a team, which I always say, if someone's a brand new agent, they should be on a team. It curves that learning curve so much. It expedites it so much. But tell us about that.
Yeah. I had never even bought a house ever. I remember I got my first contract, and it was 3 days later, and they're like, "We need your client's earnest money deposit by 2 days." And I was like, "Oh, that was yesterday." And so
shoot.
Yeah. So I joined a team.
Yep.
And it was a very good experience. It was definitely the right first step, because other people were working really hard. So it made me want to work hard, even though I had no idea what I was doing. It pushed me to be in the office every day, because it's really hard going from a structured 9 to 5 to now you own your own business.
Right.
Be disciplined.
Right.
There's some days still where I'm like, maybe I should be doing this instead of this, but it's hard to be disciplined. Being a team definitely gave me that. We had wonderful, wonderful admins on our team who literally, I think I learned 99% of things from them. You know, how to write an offer, what documents, how to do a showing. We had a transaction coordinator, which was really nice because I didn't know how to do that.
Yep.
And they just taught me everything. And then the agents in our office, even though I wasn't a solo agent, were still very like responsive to questions because they all know what it's like to be new.
Right.
So so I joined the team in March. Well, I joined the team technically in December when I got licensed, but when I went full time, it was just that.
Yeah, all in.
Yeah. And then and then I was on the team for like a year and a month, and then in April of last 2022.
Yeah.
All my years are mixed up.
I know.
Yeah.
I went on my own, and it was scary because I was given leads, and I had a transaction coordinator, and I literally felt like I was starting all over. And you know, it's just I was going to join a different team. I was going to leave.
Yep.
And actually leave Keller Williams altogether because where I was going to go is not Keller Williams.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it's just safe from one team to the next. And then I was like, my mom and my stepdad again were like, why don't you try going on your own? And I'm like, I don't have enough experience. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm basically was scared. That was the main reason. But then I was like, you know, if something doesn't scare you, like, I don't want to go like linear. I want to go up. So I decided to stay at Keller Williams and then just be on my own. Yeah. And it was scary at first, but I love it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change
awesome.
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The question that I have is, you know, when you quit your job, which was guaranteed money, you know, to go into real estate full time, what was your mindset? Because there's got to be a mindset around taking that leap of faith.
Yes, because that's very uncomfortable, probably.
For sure.
You know, that did you struggle with, what if this doesn't work? Or did I make the right decision? Or was your mindset like, I'm going to win and figure this out no matter what?
Yeah. So I definitely saved a lot of money before. I knew that I was leaving the corporate world. So I saved, I think, like $10,000. Just anything. I was dog sitting, so I was saving that money. I was my bonus. I was just saving. So in case I didn't get a paycheck for a couple of months, I'd be fine. It was a little like, okay, like what if I do a couple of transactions and I don't get any pay? Like, I think that was the scariest part of like the unknown, and still today, you just don't know
if it is going
to
fall apart. Or
really, I've realized nothing is final until everyone's got their funding. Not even like when signatures happen.
Even if they're at the table, it means
we've
nothing.
had experience of that.
It's so true.
Never know until you get that.
So that was probably the scariest. I knew that if I didn't really like real estate, I have 2 degrees, so I can always go back or try something else. But I knew I didn't like having a boss, and I knew I didn't like being in the 9-to-5 life, and I knew I didn't like being on projects that I really didn't care about, meetings I didn't really care about, or saying the wrong thing and your boss gets mad at you or something silly, or it was just, I just knew I didn't want to be in that. So whether I went back to corporate America and did something different, or just went back to pay the bills until I found something different. But I just knew I wanted to be my own boss.
No, I love it. So which one did you lean towards more, right? Like, was it like, well, I've got this plan B if it doesn't work, but how determined were you? Like, I'm going to make this work and I'm not going back. Like, you know, it's their worst case scenario, but like, because obviously what I've found, and I love asking these questions because I love to, you know, hear the mindset of people that takes them from where they were to where they are. Because I think there's a pattern when you talk to people who have created success or overcome adversity or challenges, which we all have, that caused you to get to where you are and not go back to corporate America. Yeah.
Sorry, what was your question?
No, it's okay. You know,
you were saying it. I was like halfway through. I'm like, what did he ask?
Yeah, no, I always talk more than probably I need to, but but the question is, you know, were you really just determined, like, I'm not going back? Like, you knew it was there, but like, you were going to figure out a way to make it work. Yeah.
I think once I went full time and saw, like, I mean, after I went full time a month, I got a deal under contract, and I was
in
like,
1 month. That's awesome.
I was like, we showed a lot of houses, but they were very determined. And I think once I started getting into it, I was like, I don't ever want to go back. Like, that would be just, I felt
like once you saw that check,
I'm
never going
right.
I'm just like,
this takes me like 3 months to make it in corporate America.
Yeah.
So I think once I started doing it, I was like, this is exactly where I need to be. Of course, I still didn't know half of what I needed to know.
Yeah.
And the first year, there was a lot of times where I'm like, this is the most emotional I've ever been in a year. Because
real estate is a roller coaster.
Oh my gosh. It is. There was one client where like we had been looking for so long, and basically the selling agent was like, if you write your offer this way, you'll get it. And they didn't. They gave it to like a neighbor. And I remember like just wanting to cry for this client because they were moving back to Michigan and they had a family and they had nowhere to go.
Right.
I had shown them so many houses via Zoom and FaceTime and recordings. And I just remember like, this job is really hard. But once you get them into a house they love, you're like, there's no better feeling than this. Or when they're like, we love this house, we want this one. And you're able to talk to the agent, get that relationship going. And then you find out they get it. It's like, I've never gotten those feelings in a 9-to-5 ever.
Yeah.
Even with
so
a nice bonus, like, or a good, or a good shout out. Like my undergrad was in social work. So I just want to help people. And I didn't know how to like do that with what I was doing, a writing training. Who likes to go to corporate training? Nobody. Right. And I was the one providing that training to them.
Yeah.
So the first time my clients got an offer accepted, my very first clients, it was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And then when I listed one and got an offer, like, because it was in 2021, I mean, offers were coming in like this.
Yep.
Lots of offers.
Yeah. And it was like over asking. I was like, this is such a great feeling. I'm not going to get this in a job, like a regular job. Yep. So after I got into it, I was like, I'm never going back.
And I love that because the way that you and I met was through the prospecting boot camp, right?
Actually,
or Glover, you?
I met you. I went to one of Keith Stonehouse's events, and
you
were speaking.
Yes,
you were the first real estate speaker.
What is that? What's Keith Stone?
Michigan Real Estate Mastermind.
His name is Keith Stonehouse.
And he has like
when was
that?
That was a couple years ago.
That was 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It was like right when I first started. Somebody invited me. My friend Walter invited me, and he's like, "This one agent's talking about how I got 100 listings his first year," and I was like, "Well, I have to go to that.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
I want that."
Yeah.
And then you were speaking. We met like we kind of briefly met.
Yep.
And then I signed up for prospecting bootcamp class. And I remember after your speech, you talked about when you first started and you wanted to do your 100 deals, you wrote it out. You told people, and they're like, "You're never going to do that." So you like went back and wrote 100 and like crossed everyone out. And I wanted to do 35 deals that year. Yep. So I went back to the office and I did like a little 35 sheet and I like crossed them off for everyone I got. I didn't hit 35, but I think I did 18 my first 9 months.
That's awesome.
So it was fine.
Yeah.
But so that's how I think. And then I did prospecting boot camp, and then the rest is history.
You know what I loved about you during prospecting boot camp is I tell everybody in the class that you can message me if you have any questions, and you would periodically shoot me a message like, "Hey, asking me this question or that question." So I
engaged.
Yeah, being, not that people that aren't, but I knew that you were engaged and you were serious.
Yeah.
And that to me, that inspires me, right? Because that means that, people are listening and they're growing, learning, and that obviously showed me that you were real serious about the process. I mean, how do you feel like the prospecting boot camp helped you?
Definitely with the scripts, because I still do. I'm in listing mastery right now, and I still do a lot. We did like SLS or Sales Rocket with our office, and those scripts were so familiar to me that when I said them, it didn't feel rehearsed.
Right.
When we did your class, I was like fresh in the business, so I didn't know what I wanted to, like. I just knew I wanted to get money, so I didn't.
You're like, how do I get deals?
Right. How do I get money? Like I had a coach, and I was all over the place.
Yep.
So I probably didn't utilize this as much as I should have when you gave us homework, and I was still scared to call expires and for sale by owners.
Yeah.
But knowing the scripts, just having the discipline to go to a class every week, writing them down, submitting the homework, it really does, whether it affects you in the moment or later on, it all kind of ties back together. So the scripts are very helpful, and I do call expires now, just so you know.
That's awesome.
I'm not scared anymore.
No, I love that. And so, there's obviously a lot of components when it comes to being a solo agent. So when you took the leap of faith, obviously, to leave your job and join a team, you then had to take a leap of faith to leave your team to go on your own, which now you're the one responsible for photos and signs and transaction coordinating and all that. How did you manage all of that? How did you put that together? Because I think there's a lot of things that agents people don't realize the responsibility and all the components, that an agent has to handle. Do you do all of those things on your own? Do you outsource them? What does that look like?
So when I first started, I wanted to do it all on my own, just to learn. So that way, when I do hire somebody, if they're not experienced, I can train them. It's like when you're a manager at a restaurant.
Yep.
I always compare it to that. Like, you have to learn every role.
Yep.
So in case your transaction coordinator is sick, you could step in or out of town, because they're allowed to take time off too.
Yep.
So I did everything on my own. It was a lot. And until I hired someone this year, I felt like my business was just kind of running me, and I wasn't giving my time to my clients the way they should.
Yep.
So I really do like doing it all, but I was just getting so burnt out, and like I was just not.
You're starting to like not enjoy it.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it, but it was like I was just tired all the time. I literally stopped taking care of myself. I barely worked out. I didn't really eat healthy anymore. I was working till like 10 o'clock at night, just trying to get everything done, because there's just not enough time in the day. So yeah, I wanted to do it all just to learn it. And then this year I hired 2 people.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. So I hired a showing assistant, because I like to go out of town, and I like to have nights free, and I like
Bali.
that
she
was
unplugged for 2 weeks. I think how does that?
Yeah, that was one big thing. Was I knew I had a long trip. I was going to be gone for like 13 days.
Wow.
In August, I was
half the month. I love that.
Yeah, I was going to Bali, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get this done? So first I hired my
book a trip, and you'll get people in line to get stuff.
And it paid off. When I was on my trip, we got 3 offers accepted, because I have 2 great women on my team who just know what to do. Yeah. So I hired a showing assistant, because I just needed leverage. Like I needed, and I know that's not the typical model. Like I know you're supposed to hire like an admin first or a transaction coordinator first, but this was to give me back time, because so many times I'd be in the middle of my work day and I'd have a client, can I go see a house?
Right.
And in the summer, you can't really just like say no. You got to wait till tomorrow. Like we had to go. So it was like interrupting a lot of my workflow. And then I would work, and then I would show houses till 8 o'clock at night, and then I would come home and I'd be tired, and I would eat like some chips or something and I just realized
Doritos.
Which is great, but not when you haven't ate all day.
No.
I do like Doritos. And then or I would be all weekend showing houses, and it'd be like 10 to 12, 3 to 4, 6 to 9, and it was like I can't enjoy my life at all.
No.
Like I want to have some freedom.
Right.
So I hired Shonda, my showing assistant, and she's fantastic, and she gives me back time in my day.
Awesome.
And when we took the sales rocket class, they talked about showing assistants, and she told me, she's like, that's what I want to do. I want to sell houses too, but I would do this forever. I was like, perfect.
You're like, well, you're perfect. Fit for the job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And then I hired her, and I was realizing I was still doing a lot of work till late, even though I wasn't showing houses. And I was like, how did I do that and show houses? Like, how did I do it for Shonda?
Yeah.
So there's a transaction coordinator that's always been in touch with me, and agents in my office use her. Her name is Liz Rayner. She's amazing. And I talked to her, and she literally provided everything I wanted. She was referred by somebody else. I was like, I don't have to even talk to anybody else. You're hired.
That's awesome.
So she's been really great. And when I left for Bali, I wrote an offer before I left. It got accepted the day I left, and then she wrote 2 more for me, and Shonda did the inspections, and
that's awesome.
And you're in Bali, and your business is still growing.
I was like,
isn't that the best?
I was like, is this a sign that I should be traveling all the time? And then like, I'll get the people, and then you take care of it, and then we'll just make money that way.
Well, that's the cool thing about like growing a team, right? Is leverage. And when you have leverage, you buy your time back, or you can do more, right? Or a combination of both. And that was going to be my next question, is like, what are your goals moving forward, right? Do you want to continue to add to that as far as growing your team? Are you looking to kind of stay where you are? What's your production goal, things like that?
So I'm currently reevaluating my business expenses, because I would love to hire like an admin or a director of operations next year to take care of like social media, like stuff I like to do, but it's just so tedious.
It is.
Like do social media
just
stuff
listed, coming soon,
just put my MLS listings in, or I have a client event, like invite the clients, like put a plan together, print off my open house materials for me, like stuff that I just want someone to take care of. So that's my goal for next year, is to hire that person. There's not a lot of teams at our office, so if somebody came to me and they said, I would love to, learn from you and be on your team, I might give that a thought. Yeah. But right now, the director of operations or an admin is like my number one goal.
That's exciting.
That's
really exciting.
And then, so last year I did 33 transactions. This year I'm hopefully going to do 35.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Great job.
Awesome.
Thanks. So I would love to get to 45 next year with like an admin and a director
Leverage
of operations.
Will help you get there,
for sure.
Yeah.
So,
That's
wow.
great.
Like, oh, thanks.
Not bad for someone who was just on a team, less than 2 years ago?
Yeah,
and then
failed their test 5 times.
Right.
That's why I tell people, like, I feel like the people who take it like so many times are the ones who are very successful. Not saying the people who take it the first time aren't, but the first people who do it more than once are determined.
There's a different grit and determination.
Yeah, and then
we are determined.
That's right. Yeah. And then you want to show people, like, I did it. I took this test 5 times, but look at me. But again, not saying I'm jealous of those. I'm jealous of those who took it once and that was it.
Yeah.
Like you, Justin?
Him. He was probably a straight A student in school that didn't have to study, got all A's, and
No, I didn't get all A's.
Yeah, I thought you said you were.
No, I had like a 3.0.
Really? I had 3.5.
Well, I
thought you were smarter than me.
Well, maybe in some aspects.
I really thought you were like a straight A student in school. I feel like you lied to me.
I never said that.
Wow. I worked really hard for my 3.5.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Same.
Hard.
Same.
Like,
I didn't work hard for mine at all.
See, that's what I'm saying. It came easy.
Yeah.
Some people it just comes easy to them. I had to like read the chapter 3 times, do the definitions. I had to read those out loud.
Those note cards. Yeah.
But my friends were having fun. I'm like, I'm in my room, like studying. Like I wish I had a brain that just retained it right now.
I know. So I am jealous of those who take it once.
Yeah.
Again, not saying they're not hard workers, but those who like have to take it again and again. It shows like you're really determined.
No, you're committed.
I get it.
100%. I passed it the first time in Michigan, but I had to take it 3 times in Florida.
Oh.
That was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Down there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you did it. How many hours was it?
That's a different. You mean the test or the class?
Like the whole thing again? The whole thing, like the test and the class.
I mean, the class is I think like 72 hours.
Yeah.
It's more down in Florida, and I think the test is the same. They give you 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you took it 3 hours.
3 times. Yeah. That was a little frustrating, but again, determination.
Yeah.
So for those that are listening right now, Ashley, that are obviously hearing your story, because in a very short period of time, you're coming up on your 3-year anniversary, right?
November,
for real estate. Not even 3 years yet, and already kicking some butt, growing a team. For those that are listening right now that are either considering real estate or are in that beginning stage, or maybe looking to go from a team to solo, what would you say? Because obviously you've gone through that and you've created some success. What would you say to those that are listening?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say if it scares you, it's probably the right move, because you want to do things that are going to shock you and that are going to kind of give you a whole new look. Because when you're on a team for so many years, because I know, Justin, you want people to be on a team for like a set amount of time and then be free because you've taught them everything you need to know and want them to be on their journey. So sometimes if you're on a team too long, it kind of becomes like very, like, what's the word? Like very routine.
Yeah, routine, yeah.
And structured routine. Which is what we want real estate to be.
Right.
Yeah. We want to have that routine and that structure. But being on your own is going to challenge you in so many different ways, and it's going to expand your business because you're going to be like, oh, I didn't think about this, or maybe I can do this for my business. And it's fun too, because you get to really make it the way you want.
Right. You can brand it.
Yeah. And you get to like when I was on a team, like we didn't really do client events, or we didn't really do stuff to stay in touch with our database, and we weren't really taught to do that. And now those are things that I enjoy, and that's how I can make my business. So it's fun to go on your own, because you can make it, how you want.
I love that what you said is it's like a constant challenge.
Yeah.
And when you said routine, I thought of also comfortable. You get comfortable.
Right. That's more probably what I should have said. Yeah.
But because it's a challenge every day, right? Because when you're on a team, and again, I think everybody should be on a team when they're new. There's so much to learn. I was on Jeff's team for 3 years.
Yeah.
But when you're on a team, if you don't have any business, you might get a lead.
Right.
Right. Or you might say, well, I got this, or I can lean on this or do this. Whereas when you're on your own, it's like all or nothing.
It's so true.
And you have to figure it out.
It's so true. And it really makes you look at the parts of yourself that you need to improve on.
Yep.
Or that like you need to just be stronger on, because you're like, well, when I was on a team, I was calling every day because everyone else was.
Yep.
Now you're on your own. Are you doing it?
Yep.
Another thing I would say is to get a coach, someone to hold you accountable, because when you're on your own and you don't have anyone to hold you accountable, you don't have to worry, oh, I didn't make phone calls today, it's fine. Or I didn't follow up with this lead, it's fine. But if you have a coach who every week you're checking in with,
and you're paying.
Yeah.
You got skin in the game.
That's very true. Yep. You're paying. And coaches are not cheap because they provide so much value and they can really leverage and change your business.
Yep.
So when I left my team, I didn't have a coach from like April to December. And I remember being like, I had a great fall, but then November and December came in, I had such a great September and October. I didn't really work that hard. And then I remember like in December, I was like, oh, I had my last closing and I have no closings lined up. This isn't good. I need someone to hold me accountable. So I was figuring out who I wanted to do coaching with. It's definitely changes for sure.
That's awesome.
So that's what I would say. Like, it challenges you in the best way, and then get someone to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's good. I'm
Maybe
proud
I
of
need
you.
a coach.
Thank you.
Oh, I told you to get a coach.
We have a coach right here.
No, I don't want to be her coach.
It's probably best.
I have accountability.
Yeah,
I have accountability like for like working out stuff, but I don't know. I think I'm scared to get a coach. That's my problem.
That's because they're going to show you the things that you need to work on, but
she just said that's the challenge. If there's fear, it's probably right.
Yeah.
I'm scared to get a coach because how the heck do I manage a house, the kids, and then work? Like,
a coach will help you figure that out.
I thought you were going to say you would help me.
No.
We would need help at home. That's
not your coach. No, you don't. A coach just helps you look at where you are.
I know. I've heard it.
You already know.
I know.
I mean, you live with a coach. You're married to one.
I do.
You can do it, Joy. I believe in you.
Thank you. I think I can do this. That's 2024. I'm getting a coach.
There you go. Honestly, you should.
I shouldn't have said that.
Go do it.
Well, your word is on
I know.
audio now.
Shoot.
Can't take it back.
Ashley.
Everybody
Don't
hold Joy accountable.
Yeah.
Do you have any final questions, Joy?
No, I don't have any final questions. I wanted to talk to her about Bali, but I'm going to get with her on that another time.
You should.
Thanks for cutting me off. No. I will. We're going to have lunch or something to talk about it because I can't wait to hear about it. And it gets, what's the time zone over there?
12 hours ahead.
Holy.
Is Bali by Indonesia?
Yeah.
It's Indonesia.
It is, okay.
Yeah. So it's a long flight to get there.
It's in Indonesia? Or it's close there?
I don't know.
It's in that area. Okay.
Shoot,
12 hours. That's like going to the Philippines, right?
So
yeah, it is like near the Philippines. Then I think.
Yeah. So I tell people if you're gonna go to Bali, go to like Thailand or go to Vietnam or Bangkok or something, because it takes so long to get there and come back that like while you're there, just soak it up as many countries as you can.
Yeah.
Oh, to like travel.
Yeah, and plus those are all amazing, beautiful countries when you're gonna be on that side of the world.
Right.
Again. Not probably for a long
It was humid probably, but
no, actually August is the best time to travel on Bali. It was like 80 and now no humidity and just
beautiful,
perfect.
Wow.
It rained like one afternoon. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should go to Bali.
You should go to Bali. It's so inexpensive when you get there too.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
Is it all inclusives?
That I don't know because I booked it through a travel group. But like at the hotels, I would get like massages and facials for like an hour and a half, and it was like $45 American.
What?
That'd be great.
Yeah. I came back to America. I went to a barbecue and I got like 2 tubs of fruit and it was $48. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to Bali because this is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Wow.
So, yeah,
But you have to go there for 2 weeks. I mean, the time change and all that. You gotta
and the flight time. You gotta go for at least 10 plus days.
At least 10 plus days. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Go to Bali.
We'll check it out.
Yeah. Get a coach. Go to Bali.
There you go. 2024.
That's what I did this year.
Put it on your vision board.
And I bought a condo, so
let's do it.
It makes 2024 your year.
Encourage me.
Put it on your vision board for 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
He looks at me like you ain't gonna do it.
Hey, we'll see. It's on tape.
Okay.
Maybe you got a new accountability partner to encourage you to do it.
Dang it.
I'll see you in Arizona. I'll be like, get a coach.
I know.
There you
January.
go. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, Ashley. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I've I've seen your journey, and I've seen you continue to press forward and build success, and we're excited for the things to come for you.
Yes, I'm excited. And actually, I'm just laughing inside because when I see Ashley's stories, because I can scroll through it at night, whatever, I'm just looking at her stories. I'm like, oh, there was that concert last night. I missed it. Like, I know everything that's going on in Detroit because Ashley posts, like, who wants to go to this concert? Who wants to go to this game? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I never know what's going on. So I appreciate your post because I'm a day late. So it's like no point for me. But like, I at least can know there was something fun going on. So I'm going to keep track of like what the events are going on in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because you're posting like, hey, there's a concert over here.
Yeah. I do love to do things. And that's my thing good about real estate is half my friends can't go to concerts on weekdays because they have to work at 8 a.m. the next day. And so do I. But if I start half an hour later, I'm not going to get fired.
Right. Exactly.
So that's good.
I love it. How can people get a hold of you? So if someone's listening right now and they want to talk to you about real estate or they're looking to buy or sell a home.
Sure.
How can they get a hold of you?
So I am on social media. My website is changing, so I won't give that out. But you can contact me. My phone number is 586-215-1211. Or you can just find me on Facebook, Ashley Trefney. I have an Instagram. I think they're going to post it. So
yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Message me anyway.
Well, so glad you came on the show, Ashley.
Guys,
I appreciate
proud
of
you. Thanks.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Awesome,
Thank you for asking me to join.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back.
I love it.
For sure.
Awesome.
Okay. After I have a coach. So you can ask me some questions.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for tuning into another episode here of the Justin Ford Unleashed podcast. If you love this episode, go ahead and share it with a friend or a family member. Feel free to reach out to Ashley, incredible agent, overcomer, determined, and only beginning. So much ahead. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is not just the sponsor on the show. This is our personal lender. It's who we entrust with our buyers. They have over 600 five-star reviews, a perfect A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and they not only offer great products and services, they offer excellent customer service. And so if you're a buyer and you're looking to purchase a home, call my friends over at Next Door Lending. If you're looking to refinance your home, call my friends over at Next Door Lending. And if you're an agent and you're looking for a great lender partnership, call my friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Two things that I always like to end the show with. Number one, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number two, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.